Hello and welcome to Papercrafting Playdate. My name is Robin Armbrecht at Really Robin Stamps. Thank you so much for joining me today on June 13th, 2025. This is episode 152 of Papercrafting Playdate, and we are going to make 3 different versions of a Pop Out Gatefold card. So I'm excited to show you how easy these are to put together. Let's take a look at the table. We are going to start with the beautiful gallery suite and use just a few of those pieces and some of this beautiful paper to make our first card. I think I'm crooked. I might be crooked. So this is June 2025. If you're watching during this time period, there's a sale on the suites and any suite products. You can mix and match, buy one, get one half off. It's an amazing deal. And then I also have rewards. That's from Stampin' Up. I also personally offer rewards to my customers when they order every month. And this month is a card kit with this beautiful floral paper and cardstock to match, and some embellishments, and then some punches that you can put your greetings on. That is what you're earning this month with a minimum $50 order. Hello, everyone. Say hello to your stamping friends. I'm going to stand up and we're going to get started. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do 3 different versions of a Pop Out Gatefold card. Last Papercrafting Playdate, we did basic fun folds and we combined them together to do fun folds inside of other fun folds. And it was a lot of fun. And so I kind of had those cards sitting out this week and decided I wanted to do a little bit more with gatefolds. And so what you'll love about these gatefolds today is that they're just basic gatefolds with a slight, a little bit different scoring on the inside, and it's going to make it pop out. Okay, so we're going to start with this one. This is a portrait style gatefold. I'll leave this out here for reference. And we're going to use that beautiful paper that I mentioned, the beautiful gallery. Let's grab all our pieces here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and score our card base first, and then I'll show you the sizes of the paper that you need to kind of finish the card. So this is a basic card base that is 5.5 by 8.5. Zoom in just a little bit. And we're going to score it just like you would a regular gatefold. So to make a regular portrait size gatefold, you're going to score at 2 1/8 from each side. And those are going to create the gates, and they're going to close right in the middle, or they'll open from the middle. Okay, so that's your first thing. So just so you can see that it's a basic gatefold, I'm going to go ahead and fold these. So I'm going to fold one in. Make sure that they meet right in the middle before I press this one. I'm using Lost Lagoon cardstock. Okay, so that's our basic gatefold. This is just a nice, fun way to make your card open, but we're going to create a pop in the middle so that when it opens, the inside will pop out. And so you want to do 2 more score lines. Okay, so let's just pretend we're starting from scratch here. So I scored at 2 1/8, and then I'm going to score at 4 inches. Okay, flip it around. And you're going to do the same thing, 2 1/8 and 4 inches. And what that leaves is this 1/2 inch section that's scored right in the middle. Okay, so that's going to be the part that's going to hold what's going to pop out. So these fold in like here, and this is going to fold opposite. So it'll pop out. So these will get folded this way. Pam, I love Lost Lagoon too. It's just a great color. I agree. It goes with so many other colors. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it pops out. So it's going to close like this. And then when you open it, it's going to pop out like that. All right, so let's decorate it. So these sections here, because they're 2 1/8 by 5 1/2, if you want to put some designer series paper there or cardstock to decorate it, which we do, right? You're going to want to trim it to 1 7/8 by 4 1/4. And that's if you want that nice 1/8 inch border all the way around. Okay, if you want to completely fill that section, then you would just do a 2 1/8 by 5 1/2. But we're going to leave a little border. Okay, so you're going to need 2 of those for the inside. Now this section is just a little bit narrower. It's 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. Okay, I'm going to do that paper in a second. If you want to put paper here in the center, this is a 1/2 inch, and so you would do 3/8 of an inch by the same length, 5 1/4. Okay, so you need 2 this size, but when it closes, so that's for the inside. When it closes, you need the exact same size, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, if you want to leave that nice little border around your gatefold sections. So I have some Secret Sky, and that's what we're going to put on the front. Okay. So we're going to emboss this. So we're going to keep the outside fairly simple, because the inside is the real wow when you have something that pops out. This is not a 3D embossing folder, so I just need to use my base plate and then my 2 acrylic plates. Let's start putting these pieces inside here. Okay, so again, these 2 pieces on the inside and the 2 pieces on the outside are the exact same size. They're 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and that gives you an 1/8 inch margin. So if you'd like a little bit less of a margin, like a 1/16, then you would do it at 2 inches by 5 3/8. So you can actually double layer if you want to layer some, make a matte layer. I tend to not double layer because I don't like them to be, the card to be too thick. Okay, so we're going to put these on the top. I'm telling you, Secret Sea goes with everyone, every color. It's just a really great new neutral. It is wonderful to see everybody. Hey, Mary Ruth and Margie, Suzanne. Hi, Pamela. Sandra from the United Kingdom. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so that's just going to give us some texture on the front. All right, so let's deal with this inside. What are we going to put here? You can attach anything you want along this. It's almost like a spine on the inside of the card, as long as it doesn't go past this area right here, because then you won't be able to close it. So I thought it would be fun to open this card up and see this beautiful scene. And so I'm going to use a rectangle to cut the scene for the inside. And I'm using a set of textured notes that comes bundled with these dies that have beautiful textured edges to all these rectangles. So this second to largest one actually fits inside there too. But I decided to just go with a little bit smaller one, and you'll see why in just a second. So what I'm going to do, because I want to save the paper on either side of this to put on the inside to kind of make that scene pop out, but then yet have that paper in the background, is I'm going to make sure that I have 1 5/8, which is the amount that I want to cover here on either side. And so I kind of just measured and I put some little tick marks right there. So let me get my picture where I want it. And then I'm just going to tack that down. And we'll cut out. Oops. I took the plate number 2 out so I could emboss, but that has to go in here so we can cut. Straighten that back up. Secret Sea. It's a mysterious black with a bluish green shade. That was a really good way to describe it. Okay, so now we're going to have our frame around that beautiful scene. And I'm going to take what's left over on each side . 1 5/8, so it's almost exactly. It's just a tiny. And then we'll do 5 1/4. And then we'll do the same thing on the side. Okay, 1 5/8 is the size of that other section. So I want to put these here. It will help give the illusion of something popping out even more. Make it a little more 3D. I'm not going to put anything in the middle of this one. So I already cut out another one just like this in Very Vanilla, and I'm going to just make this a little more sturdy and attach it to a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. Okay, so you can see it's gonna just kind of sit there. We'll have our little scene in the background. And I'm gonna stamp on this before I put it on there. So that's what the inside's going to be like. I'm just going to have that nice little scene. The card is meant to be displayed, and so you want to spend just a little bit more time making it kind of perfect. If you want to add a message, then you would put it on the back, and you would, you know, put some plain cardstock or a piece that at least you can write on. And it would be the same size as these, 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. Okay, so now we're gonna create our front. This is the greeting set that I'm using called Sentimental Framing. And I already cut a very vanilla circle for our main greeting. It's gonna be a nice big thinking of you. In Secret C. And then I just cut another circle out of Very Vanilla, and then another piece of Designer Series paper from the beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper. So it's just, again, to make this sturdy, because these two circles are going to help us open and close the card. It's going to create a little latch. So they're going to overlap. And then they'll help the card to open and close. So we'll finish that in a second. We'll just add a little bit more, as long as we have the Gallery Blooms. I'm just going to pick up the two colors that are in this paper, Calypso Coral and Peach Pie. Let's grab a piece of scratch paper here. And we'll do a little background stamping. And I just stamped it off once. I want it to be real light and not take away from the greeting. Same with the Calypso Coral. And that just is going to help it to coordinate with this piece right here. This is a really pretty color combination. And then you add the other Lost Lagoon. And so blue and orange. I was using my color wheel today. What did I do with it? Here it is. I was working on and in fact, so the next card is also blue and orange, since I was kind of looking over here. And so like Peach Pie is not, the new in colors are not on the color coach, but if you're looking at complementary colors, blue and orange are the complementary colors. And so even though these aren't the exact colors that they're showing here, you can still use the color wheel to kind of help guide you. So we really have 2 oranges and 2 blues going on in this card. Okay, let's finish. So of course you can do a belly band to close a gatefold card. I thought it would be fun to make a latch. And so what I'm going to do is attach these both with dimensionals, but I'm just going to leave, they're going to overlap. Let's see if I could overlap this way. I think I like it this way. They're going to overlap not only the center line, but they're going to overlap each other by a little bit. So I'm going to put my dimensionals everywhere but where it goes over the opening line and where it hits the other circle. Makes sense. I'm going to go right up to the line there. Okay, we're going to flip that one. Think about it backwards though. So I don't want anything over here. There, so it allows it to stay, it works a little bit like a latch. So it opens like that. And then those just slide together like that. Okay, let's add our embellishments. I just previously cut out a little bit of fun little pieces here that we're gonna attach underneath the one circle, just to give it a little something. Oh, Kathy called them tuck closures. Yeah, I like that term. That term is good too. Hi, Imelda. This is the Secret Sea ribbon, linen ribbon. I'll just stick that right there. Extras out of the way. Okay, so this is the first version of the Pop Out Gatefold in portrait style. Okay, and we just put a scene on the inside. It'll be displayed like that. I like is you can use a lot of designer series paper to decorate the inside. You don't necessarily have to do, or you could do a lot of stamping in there too. I think what I'm trying to say is you can let your artwork on the inside kind of speak your message. You don't have to have a lot of room to write, but you can still add a little piece back here and then have something to, you know, a place to personalize it. Stick that in there. Now that I opened it, let's just reinforce these folds. Okay, I love that one. All right, so you, of course, you can do a belly band. So this one is just a simple belly band with another simple greeting. I got to play with the washi tape die, learning about that. And then here is the new banners. And so this one stands out like that. This little sparkle. Oh, Jeline says she loved the pop-up books as a child. Yes, I loved those too. I still do. I still think they're the greatest books. Hi, Michelle. Okay, so that one has a belly band to close. Here's another one with two labels. Okay, so one of the things you can do is just find those real big dies, anything that you want to just have a nice display. Isn't that cute? This is the mixed media florals. Tuck closure, I like that so much better. Thank you, Kathy. And then here is with the Vibes paper and just 2 punches. That one goes like that. Using our little labels. So this card I made with my butterfly friends for our mystery or our kit together this month, and I loved how you can kind of stack these. And this kind of looks like one of those mile marker signs where it has, you know, the directions to all different places on it right along the spine. So you can get real creative. Okay, let's do the next version. And so it's basically the same, but we're going to flip it into a landscape card. So I'll leave this one out. Okay, so here's the next version. It's just a different orientation of the paper. So this time I wanted to play with Timid Tiger, the new in color. And so I used my package of Designer Series paper that comes in the in colors. And then like I said, I went to the wheel, and even though Timid Tiger isn't on here, it's very similar to the pumpkin pie. And so when I looked with complementary, it took me right across here to the blue. And so I picked Balmy Blue to go with it, because that's always a fun color combination. And so in my package of Subtles Designer Series paper, I found the Balmy Blue. And so there's 4 designs with all of these 6x6 packs of paper. So you get the leaves, the flowers, the stripes, and then the splatter. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of mix and match those on this card. So this is a piece of Timid Tiger cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11. And we're going to score it at 2 3/4. And then at 5 inches. Okay, I'm going to turn it around and do 2 3/4 and 5 inches. Okay, so the measurements are just different because it's longer. And you get a little bit wider spine down the middle. So let's do the gatefold part first. There's going to be one instructional PDF that has all the measurements for the 3 versions of this card. Will be available later today. If you're watching me live today, you'll find the link in the video's description box. If you're watching this on the replay, it's already ready. All the PDFs are on my blog, my website blog. Okay, so that's exactly the same. It's just kind of a squash. This is going to be landscape, version. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to play with is the new party alphabet dies. And so I was like, how can we make these pop up, and what would be fun to pop up? So let's put this paper on the inside. So for the designer series paper pieces, this is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. So just to take off a 1/4 inch, you would do 2 pieces that are 4 by 2 1/2 and 2 pieces that are 2 by 4. And I picked the stripe. And we're just gonna keep it simple and do that all the way across. And then on the outside, the pieces are the same, 2 1/2 by 4. But for the outside, I decided to go ahead and mat them. So I'm going to use the splatter on the outside. So if you want to do a little mat, then you would make the white or the cardstock that you're matting it with would be 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. Let's go ahead and reinforce these score lines. Just break down the fibers a little bit more and it'll help the gatefold. Okay, so we've got the base on there. Okay, so we've got only our orange so far, Timid Tiger. So now we're going to add our, oops, I think I was supposed to do this in blue. I think that's what I was going to do. We're just going to add that right on top. This one I'll have to put some postage in. I forgot that I changed my mind at the last minute and I wanted more of a contrast on the front. So this one has a secret layer. Secret support layer. Okay, I'll show you why I wanted the contrast. So what I wanted to use those letters, and I thought it would be fun to kind of come up with something, some 3-letter words that I could use on the front and on the inside. And so I decided to make this a congratulations card. So I used the Timid Tiger, and I used 3 patterns, and then I used a piece of two-toned cardstock. going to take the yay and do a little stamping. So we're gonna put these on here like to create our latch as well. I pre-did these letters with white, basic white cardstock, and then I put the designer series paper on top. I just did that so we would have more time. Now this O is going to be in the middle, and it's going to tuck under the U. So I kind of want them a little wonky. Let's do that one straight. One up here. There. Those will tuck together. And then we're going to put, let's celebrate you. See that? Okay, so what would you put on the inside when you're saying, let's celebrate you? I thought it would be fun to put wow on the inside. And so this is kind of the step I left out here. I cut out in white first, and then I cut out in the designer series paper. So you could also put your designer series paper, attach it to your cardstock ahead of time, and then just cut once. Or you could also use the adhesive sheets. Okay, so all we need is something to pop out. So I thought this little rectangle we put this way, and we'll put our wow on here. And we'll just make sure it doesn't go past the edges of the card. And then we'll kind of reverse. We'll put our little greeting under there. So this card could be for any kind of like celebratory occasion. Thanks, Judy. Yes, for Mother's Day, you could turn the, yes, there is actually a different shape for the M, but you could definitely, I was thinking of the same thing. That's a good idea. You could make this a mom card. So new job, graduation, any kind of accomplishment. New dad, that's right. Stampin' Up! Just did a Instagram live on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. It might have been Tuesday. And they used the dies, these party alphabet dies, and they came up with 24 different little techniques, things that you could do with your dies. And so this is something you can download if you go to their Instagram. Probably it's on Facebook too, but I think I saw it on Instagram, so I know for sure. And it's just a little download that'll give you these 24 ideas of things that you can do. So like one of them is to stamp, on the letters, which I did. So it's great little resource if you decide to get these dies. All right, so one more look at our landscape version of the Pop Out card. So let's celebrate you, yay. Wow, you amaze me. Okay, you could even put little pictures here. You could put a picture here, right? Instead of some decoration thing. That would be fun to put pictures in there. Okay, so here's another one with overlapping circles. And then I just overlapped some different shapes on the inside with the spotlight nature dies, and then these are those rectangles that we used on the first card. So just a beautiful way to display. And then I thought it would be fun to use the Memories and More cards because they're already sized 4 by 6, so that 4 inches, and then 3 by 4, so it's perfect to cut up and use with this particular version of the Pop Out Gatefold. And so I cut out some circles of the Memories and More cards for the front, and then I put one of the 3 by 4s on the inside. I haven't used Lemon Lime Twist in a while, and it made me very happy. So I'm glad that color is included in these because it's going to force me to get that color out, not force me, but it's hard when you have to make time for all the color friends. Okay, so this one doesn't have designer series paper on the front, just stamped a background using the same happy birthday that's on the inside. And then I thought it'd be fun to pop out the new tote bag die, right? So you can make a little gift card. So this one has a belly band. This one I put the Designer Series paper all the way covering the gatefold just to make it a solid card. And then on the inside is the little tote bag. So you can stick a gift card in there. Okay. That's our second Pop Out Gatefold. Our last one is a little bit different. It has more score lines, but it's the same concept. So it closes like a portrait gatefold, just like the very first card we did. But the inside, instead of having just one spine, it has a split spine this way. Okay, now before you think that looks too complicated, let me just show you how it goes together. So this one has a little bit slightly smaller card base. It's 5.5 by 8 instead of 8.5. It's just 8. And that makes it really easy to score because essentially you're scoring at 2, 4, and 6. Okay. So what you will do first is score at 2 from one side, turn it around, score at 2 from the other side. Okay, now you've got your gatefolds. Okay, so now for the inside, you are going to score 4, and you can score all the way down as long as you don't bend on this middle section. But if you want to not put the score line there so it doesn't confuse you, this is how you do it. So now you make these cuts. So open it back up, measure it 1 1/4, and then you're going to just cut the inside. So you're going to line up your cutting blade at 2 inches. Right where the score line is that you just made, and then you're going to cut all the way to 6 inches. And then turn it around, measure it 1 1/4, and do the exact same thing. 2 inches to 6 inches. Okay, so now you've got these 2 slits here. Then you're going to measure at 3 inches. And you're just going to score in between the 2 slits that you just made. Score, not cut. You're going to score at 3 inches, turn it around 3 inches. Don't you love it? It's just even, nice and even. Okay, and then, so now you've got, this will pop up like this on the inside. And the last thing you need to do is just score the top and the bottom at the 4 inches. So just on those little strips right there. And so when this one opens, everything gets folded to pop out. So let me just get them started before I crease them with the bone folder. So it's going to look like that. Okay, so score 2, 2, turn it, cut in between those at 1 1/4, do the other side at 1 1/4, okay, then you're going to score 3 from each side, and then you're going to do 4 here. So now you've got all these fun little sections to decorate. There's our gatefold, and then when it displays, you're going to get this kind of a little bit more interesting. So we're going to use the Cheers and Six bundle with that suite. This is one of the suites that you can get in the buy one, get one half off. So I've cut a piece that's going to cover the entire front. Okay, so this card closed is 4 by 5.5. So that's what this piece is. So I'm going to cut it in half at 2. Put that on our front. I think whenever you get a fun fold that it has just a little bit more to it, like this one, right? It clearly is stepped up version of those. Just get yourself a piece of copy paper and practice on a piece of throwaway paper and make yourself a template. Okay, so here's our front. This. Okay, so on the inside, the pieces that you need are 1 7/8 by 5 3/8 if you want a small margin, or you can do 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. I thought since this card base was so dark that I would have a small amount of that border showing, just for something different. But if you like the even numbers, do 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 to make it easy. And then these 4 sections are the same. They're 1 7/8 by 1 1/8. I'm going to use different papers for these. For the little sections, but you could use all the same paper. Just depends on what you want the display part to look like. Okay, these sections are 7/8 by 2 7/8. Again, that's for the small margin. Hey, Liz. Hey, Susie. Thank you, Mary. Mary likes the gift card idea. Okay, so the inside, this is where you're going to put like your main little focal image. That is 1 7/8 by 2 7/8. I'm just going to put a piece of white in there. I think I'm going to stamp on it first, though. So we're going to do a little stamping on our designer series paper. So I want to bring in this paper that I have on the front and make a little matching umbrella for our drink. Oops, I need that. And so I stamped it on a piece of designer series paper. And then I cut it out with the die. So I'm going to stick that This card is another great place to use two-tone cardstock, since you've got all these, when you close it up, you've got, you know, 1, 2, 3 layers of designer series paper on there, so it's a little bit thicker. So using the two-tone or the designer series paper definitely helps. Okay, so we've got our cheers, a little bit like you can put love, and then we'll make this one also be a tuck closure. So I'm just going to use, I already cut out 2 of the glasses from the designer series paper, and I mounted them on cardstock just like I did. And we'll just have our little tuck closure be like that. So simple. Make it look like they're clinking. And then we'll put a little "Let's Celebrate." Here's the front. Okay, so we've got "Let's Celebrate," and then "Cheers" pops out like that. Now this card can also close this way. Okay, so if you wanted to do a different version, you can make it close like this so that the inside is on the outside, and then it closes like that. Pretty cool. All right, I ran out of a little bit of time this week. I only have one other sample of this particular version, but I have some other ideas in mind that I'm going to have to try. So this particular version of the Pop Out Gatefold has kind of a smaller footprint as far as like what you can put in your little focal point, but then it has kind of this nice blocked areas that kind of give it a really neat, unique look on the inside. And so I think if you want to pop up something bigger, you use one of the other versions. And so this one I was just kind of mixing and matching, just kind of challenging myself to use things that don't necessarily go together. And so I used the Botanical Textures paper, and I just used a blending brush and pecan pie on top of it, and then used my pecan pie blends to color in those leaves that were white, and it created such a beautiful background. I can't wait to try this blending in blender pens again. But I paired it with the little jar punch and the jar suite. And so this one I closed with a belly band. And I put the little jar on the inside. Okay, and so of course you can put the same size paper in the back for your message. You could go ahead and decorate all the back too if you wanted to. Okay, so there's our third version of the Pop Out card. Do you have a favorite? Let's bring them all back in. So the first one we did was a portrait version of the Pop Out Gatefold card. with scenery on the inside. Oh, I'm going to zoom out now. Let's see what else we have. Our mile marker posts. And big floral. And then we did the landscape version with the new alphabet letters. So many ideas. And a cute little bag. I need to sit down and play with all the little parts that come with the dies for this little tote bag, because it has all kinds of things to make those bags. All right, do you have a particular favorite? What sparked your interest that you're thinking of something that you have at home that you might want to try to put inside of a gatefold pop out card right away? Linda likes the scenery card. Sarah likes the shopping bag card, yay. Judy says the cards are cheerful. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, she said the scenery card is a great way to showcase that paper. Yeah, sometimes you don't know what to do with that paper, so you have to get a little creative with it. And it's always fun to do it in a way that you can display it, or the person who gets the card will be able to display it. Thank you, Kathy. Sarah likes the floral portrait. Thank you, Michelle. Oh, I hope that you are excited to try this, these different versions. And honestly, I think my favorite version is the landscape one. It's just a little bit, the pieces are a little bit easier to measure. There's no eighths. So if you want to start with one, I recommend you start with this one and make a version like that. And then figure out what dies you have, what shaped dies that will fit inside these two versions. Basically, the inside of the landscape and the portrait are the same size, right? It's just the direction. So if you have any circle dies or rectangle dies, or you can cut, you don't even have to have a die, you can just cut a piece or use your memories and more cards. Figure out what kind of thing you want to pop out, and definitely just try gluing some greetings along the spine like that. It looks so cute. The tote bag is a huge hit. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I can't wait to make another one. It's really cute. Like I said, I don't even understand what all the dies do yet. So I'm learning. All right. Thank you so much for hanging with me today and making Pop Out Gatefold cards. I hope that you give one or more of these a try. Get out your paper, make some beautiful things, and then send it to those that you love, so that they get excited to get something in the mail that is special. Again, thank you for joining me. I will see you next time. Bye.